All right. Can everyone hear me? Yeah? All right. So, well, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for spending some time with us today. It's a pleasure to be up here. My name is Cody Stepp. I am a second-generation real estate technologist. And I've spent the greater part of the last decade, pretty well every role within real estate technology, from customer support, training, sales, marketing. But now I get to do innovation inside my own company, Workflow Secrets. Our product, SAM, is an AI native system that answers the question, gosh, what comes after the CRMs of the last 20 years? And along the way, we've used AI to do some really incredible things. It's become my calling, and I get to spend each and every day helping real estate agents just like you guys find success. I get to do it alongside my mentor, a true legend of real estate technology. He is my father. He's the inventor of two of the most used real estate CRMs over the last 3 decades, and he's with us today, Mark Stepp.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. Second generation, I guess that makes me first.
That's right.
You know, the gray hairs and stuff come at a cost, I guess. But anyway, guys, thank you for coming here. My name is Mark Stepp. I have been in this industry, real estate, in the trenches with you guys for the past 36 years now.
36. All things done.
Helping you guys figure out how to do your job as efficiently as it can be done. My first business partner, Peggy Mitchell, she was a Coldwell Banker agent here in Springfield, Missouri. She shared with me a story, and I really want to share this just to let you know where this is coming from. I didn't know anything about real estate. I didn't know anything about what you guys do. I was speaking at a local user group meeting, and I said, anybody that knows anything about real estate, come speak to me. And I was fortunate enough to meet up with Sherman Mitchell. He was a local dentist, since passed, but he said, Mark, you need to talk to my wife, Peggy. She's Coldwell Banker, tops in the Midwest region. From that, we built a relationship. We built a large company based off of building relationships with people. At one point, I said, Peggy, why were you willing to share your business practices, your everything that you do to be successful? Why were you willing to share that with me? She goes, you got to understand something, Mark. I was a nurse. I wanted to spend more time with my family, so I got into real estate.
There's a punchline there. Yeah.
Well, it didn't work out so well for her. She said there was one night that she came home, working long days, long weekends, long nights, you guys know. She came home to be with her daughter, Amber, successful chiropractor in Springfield now. And she said, kind of gave away a little part of the story there. She said, I went into Amber's room and I couldn't find her. I didn't know where she was. She started looking through the house, went downstairs in the family room. Amber was nowhere to be found. Finally, Peggy went into her own bedroom. There she saw Amber's legs sticking out of the closet. She went down, scooped her up, said, Amber, why are you in my closet? She was just asleep. She goes, why are you in my closet? She goes, oh, Mommy, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I came in to smell the perfume on your clothes. At that point, it was like a knife digging into my heart. I had kids of my own, you know, and I didn't want to... I didn't want that same type of thing to happen to me, nor the other people that are in this industry. So for 35 years, I've been entrenched in what you guys do. A lot of it is chaos. A lot of it is a challenge. And what we want to do today is really take you from chaos to clarity. if we can get through here.
Yeah, so what we're going to be focusing on today is walking you through what Mark has named the core strategies framework. And we'll dive into that a little bit more. But CORE is an acronym: conversions, operations, retentions, and experiences. These are the 4 core areas you guys need to put focus into your business. Then we're going to address what we like to call a world-class client experience. Everyone wants to have a world-class experience, and we're going to walk you through how you can implement that into your business today. Then, because we live on the fringe, we are in the trenches of AI. It's this magic word that is in front of pretty well anything and everything that is software these days. And some of us are doing it really well. Some of us are maybe not doing it the best. So we're going to help give you guys the lowdown on what that actually means. And then we're going to help you guys implement some action plans so there's actually something you can take away outside of a full belly. How does that sound? Good, good. So Mark, I teed you off, but let's talk about the core strategies framework.
Yeah, so in any business that deals with people, you have a core part of your business. Just like if you're in physical fitness, you have a core that you've got to build up. This same core is something that you need to build up in your business. The conversions side is everything from the time that you get a lead magnet or some kind of content that people want, need, are looking for because they have some kind of need. They're looking for your content. You bring them in, you get their information from the website, from wherever, IDX. I mean, there's lots of ways we're getting information to them. We're also getting information about them and getting them into our system. What's the first thing that you need to do whenever somebody comes to your website? You need to contact them, right?
Yeah.
And how quickly are you contacting them? That's that speed to lead. If you're not contacting them within the first 5 minutes, they're going to move to another agent. Unfortunately, there's a lot of you out there. They can get information from a lot of different people. So you've got to be prudent in what you're giving them, and also how fast can you get to them with the information that they're looking for. From the time that they come in, all the way until you get a buyer's agreement, listing agreement, one of the two, that is the conversions side of it. And there's all kinds of systems that you can implement to help speed that process up, give them what they want, and be able to service them in a way that can wow them. Once they've signed that agreement, you go into the operations. This is your listing, your pre-listing, all the way to contract, all the different things that you do to let them know where things are at, getting photographers, all the stuff you guys know what you're doing there. And then from contract to close, same type of thing. It's just kind of a different phase of the process. That is all the operations. That's your money ball right there. That's where you guys get your money. And if you can service your people at an exemplary method, they're going to remember you. Okay? And we're going to get to that in the experience. Once you've closed, then everything after that, post-closing, until they sign again, hopefully, or they give some kind of referral, is your retention area. So C.O.R.E. Those are the 3 main parts of it. Now the E in CORE is the experience. Everybody loves a good experience. Mm-hmm. And if you give them a good experience, they will remember it. They will tell others about it. If you have a bad experience, they'll do the same thing. Okay? So you've got to give them a world-class experience. Now, whenever I look at people's business, I've helped coach tens of thousands of real estate agents throughout the United States, Canada, and 13 other countries. I see 3 things that really identify whether they have systems in place or not. Number 1, are they running out of hours in the day? If they can't get everything done during the day, what happens? They start working later and later. They start taking up that family time, and that's where Peggy was at. And we want to get rid of that. The feast or famine issue. There's times when You know, business is slow, and there's times when you can't catch a breath. And why is that? A lot of it has to do with the systems that you have in place or the lack thereof, and it compounds as you go along. And then the last part is, are you in reactive mode versus proactive mode? If your people are calling you, hey, what's the status of this? Or, you know, where are we at that? You're in reactive mode. You're spending your time answering questions that literally you should have answered 3 days before. Those are the 3 clear signs of systems issues. Breaking that feast or famine cycle really comes down to making sure that your core strategies, your core elements, are all balanced in what you do. If you're spending a lot of time doing your conversions side of your business, you might be suffering in your operations because you're trying to bring in those leads. You're trying to get them in there and give them the information that they need, but it takes away from the time because you don't have good systems. Or the flip side of that, you're so busy in the operations, giving the updates and making sure you've got all the deadlines and the pre-quals and all that kind of stuff done that you get lax on your conversion side. This causes that imbalance, and this is what causes that feast or famine. If you can put your systems in place so that it encompasses all of that, you're much smoother. Now, the retention part, it can lack a little bit, but you want to make sure that people remember you 3, 5, 10, 15 years down the road whenever it's time for them to buy or sell again, right? Or whenever they're at a party and somebody's talking about, hey, you know, I'm thinking about moving to, you know, Springfield. What do you think? You know, those are the people that you need to make sure they recognize you and know you. So if you can deal with the systems, you can break that feast or famine cycle.
So when we're starting to think about all of these pieces, the key there, that E, that experience, that's the multiplier. That's going to be how we start to gain an advantage, right? We can figure out all of those pieces. We can add systems to all of those, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But it's the world-class client experience that's going to set you apart. This is how you maintain that competitive edge. Now, Mark, you've got this incredible story, and I'm glad you guys have already eaten because it's going to make you hungry if you didn't. But talk to me about Ruth Chris Steakhouse.
All right, so I was down in San Diego doing a 3-day conference. I had just flown in. I was hungry. I'm from the Midwest. I like steak and potatoes, guys. For those vegetarians out there, sorry. Okay, so I get to San Diego and I see this sign, Ruth's Chris. Well, Kansas City has it. I know St. Louis had it. I don't know. But I've never been to one, but I wanted to go to Ruth's Chris. So I went around, it was just around the corner, went in there. The hostess, as I walked in, the hostess greeted me. She goes, may I have your name? I said, Mark Stepp. Will anybody else be joining you? I said, no, I'm all alone, here for a business trip. She said, okay, we'll get you right in. The maitre d' or the next person came in, and the hostess said, this is Mr. Stepp. He's dining alone. Please take him to the main dining. And we went in there. At that point, they pulled the chair back, let me sit down. And about that time, the server came, and the attendee said, this is Mr. Stepp. He'll be dining with us alone. And then did some introductions and stuff. And then they left to go service their other people. Now, this is where it really got interesting. I sat down. I wanted steak and potatoes. The server gave me the menu, and there was a lot of different things on there. And I said, I just really wanted a steak and potatoes. And it wasn't exactly what I wanted. He said, I'll tell you what, we'll get you taken care of. Just give me one moment. He went out to the chef, placed the order. He came right back, Sometimes that one moment is 5 minutes, and it wasn't. It was immediate. And he gave me a time when it was going to be prepared, and kept serving tea and all the different things until it was done. He brings it to the table. It looked beautiful. He said, "Mr. Stepp, is there anything else that I can get for you?" I said, "No, it's okay. It looks great." As he started turning around, I did notice at that point there wasn't any steak sauce. Now, I've always had steak sauce. And I said, "Oh, excuse me, I need some steak sauce." As that, he kind of turned around and he goes, "Are you sure?" I've always had steak sauce. And so here, he said, "I tell you what, take a bite of it and tell me what you think." Now, it was tender. I could have cut it with a butter knife and started eating it. Oh, it was so good. It was the most amazing steak I've ever had, even since. He looked at me and he goes, "Steak sauce?" I said, "No, I'm in heaven." He goes, "Very good." Most people that order steak sauce are covering up something, and if you get a good steak, you don't need it. If there was something wrong, I would get you a new steak. I agree now. I'm converted. Well, I pay with my American Express. I go. The rest of the meal was wonderful. He kept serving. I mean, just it was amazing service. Now, I went off. I paid with my American Express. I went and did my business deal. Actually, I was talking to 1,000 real estate agents at that point on stage, and I get home. Now, I flew in from Kansas City to go to Bolivar. It's about a 2-hour drive, so it was a long drive. I could have flown from from Springfield, but it was more expensive. Anyway, it's late. I'm tired. I roll into the house. I see. I go to check the mail. Inside the mail was a letter addressed to Mark Stepp, Mr. Mark Stepp, from Ruth, Chris, San Diego, California. Now, this was before all the Facebook and background search and all that kind of stuff. I really don't know how they got my address, but inside was a handwritten note. "Mr. Stepp, thank you for coming to our restaurant. I hope you had a successful business trip and made it back safe. If you're ever in this area, please stop by again, blah, blah, blah." My mouth was watering because I was wanting that steak again. And I'm thinking, wow. Now, we've written a book. We talk about that in the book. I've talked to thousands of people who benefited from that process. Number one, actually, did that happen just by, did it just happen, or was it by design? What they did for me. It was by design. I actually had a lady in St. Louis whenever I was speaking. She goes, "I used to work for Ruth, Chris," and they do that on purpose. If it was made by design, which it was, who benefited? Well, certainly I benefited. I had a great steak. I enjoyed the meal. It was very pleasurable. They benefited because they got paid, and it wasn't cheap, but it was good. It was really good. It was the greatest meal I'd ever had. But you know what? How they really benefited is the fact that I've told thousands and thousands of people about their steakhouse. Now, whether they're in business or not, I really don't know. Right this moment, I don't know. But the fact is, I've told so many people about that experience that it now shows an example of what you guys need to be doing, not steaks, but you need to be doing in your business of wowing your people. How can I wow them? So
that's excellent. And so this is one of my favorite stories, because what you just articulated is how we start to address that. First, the impression was incredible, right? Then We had personal attention. This is the process that you guys go through each and every day. You guys are in a relationships business. But then it's the follow-up. This is key. And I'll let you know, we're AI people, and there is nothing more powerful than a handwritten letter. They're coming back, and if you're not doing them, you're going to wow some people when you start doing it. But when you start adding all of these small touches, you might think to yourself right now, gosh, I don't have time for that. But if you leverage systems, you're going to start finding the time. So if you guys saw before we got started, we had this big QR code up here, and I would invite you, what you can do is you can scan it, or you can visit workflowsecrets.info/self-audit. There's a quick little, it's, I think 12 questions, and you can actually take a little self-assessment to see, how am I stacking up? How am I doing with my systems? And then it's going to send you a little report. Not only are you going to know, but you can start to learn how you can address that. And we can do some really cool stuff with this. This is just one of many examples about how our software can help. So this is something, we actually use our software inside our business so that we know that it will be super effective for you guys because it's tailored to real estate. So if you want to grab this or hop onto the URL, you can do that. But this is how you can start to understand where your clients are at. What are they thinking about? Each of these questions, once answered, could bring you into an entire trail of insight into what they're thinking about. Are they ready for their first house? Are they ready to move up? Are they going to be ready in the next couple of months? All of that can be used to give them the right information at the right time so that we can create those experiences. You guys get leveraged as the expert who has the answer to the questions they didn't even know they had to ask yet. So if you want to do that, go ahead. If not, we'll go ahead and keep on moving.
There were a few of you that did do it earlier, and as we were standing in front, we were actually looking at some of the results. And I want to ask, how many of you, just by show of hands, even though you may not have done the survey, how many of you all are intimidated somewhat about AI? Intimidated. Yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's fine. You'll get through it. How many are using AI in some way, at least weekly? Great.
That's excellent.
Great. Daily. Okay. Of those that are holding your hand up right now, are you doing AI, something in AI besides ChatGPT type stuff?
Funny memes.
Yeah.
Funny memes, yeah, well. Okay, this is where the breakdown is, guys. AI can do so much more for you. And if you're just using it to, rewrite your blogs, or, definitely do that. Don't get me wrong, do that. But if that's all you're doing, you're still missing the point. There's so much more that you can do with AI. You can stop by our booth. We do have flyers at the table in the back that can help you see some of the stuff. I do want to kind of share with you some of what can be done with AI. Okay? I'm not trying to sell you here on this necessarily, but I want you to understand some of the things that you can do with it within AI. Now, whenever we first started, and I'm going to pause this just for a second. Cody, would you tell them about our trainings that we've done when we first started?
Yeah, so when we first started, Mark obviously has been coaching agents for years and years, and I decided that I wanted to kind of go out on my own. OpenAI had just launched ChatGPT. We had spent the first couple of months just playing around and understanding what was going on. And I said, hey, Mark, I think that this tool could be really helpful for real estate agents, but it was so new, no one knew about it. And so he had also been playing with it. We started hosting just free seminars, free webinars, free events to help these real estate agents out. And these were well-attended events. Everyone loved it. They'd come, they'd learn, and then they'd walk away, and then the next couple of days, my inbox would be flooded. Lots of questions. Cody, I love what you showed. I don't know what to do. So after receiving hundreds of emails, event after event, inviting them back to more events. Well, it'll take some reps, but you'll figure it out. I said, you know, there has to be a better way. And so what we built into existence, the Systems Accelerator Manager, we just call it SAM, started out, I took Mark's core strategies framework and I put together, they call it vibe coding now. I'm not a computer programmer, he is, but I vibe coded this piece into it. It's called the generations piece. What it does is it simplifies the ability for you to create resources for your real estate business. So taking the core strategies framework, you can look, and in this example, we're going to look at, you could jump into the conversion side. Instead of having to think, oh gosh, what am I going to write? What am I going to do? You just click a couple of buttons. So this immediately solved that need of, man, I don't know where to start with AI. You don't have to be a prompt engineer. You just have to answer a couple of questions. It's tuned so that you know what area of real estate, your niche, you're focused in on. It's got a writing sample so you can look at it. And then it's got an objective. That's the fancy part. But it's ultimately just, what are you hoping to accomplish? Now, doing this allowed real estate agents a tool that they could actually start using. They could use ChatGPT, but they weren't knowing how to use it. And so now we have a tool. The tool asks you a couple questions. I built it so that it gives you some answers. That way you've got a place to start. And then from there, it starts to think about, what are you trying to build? What answers do you have? And then it can generate ready to go resources for you. They're written in your voice. And these real estate agents absolutely loved it. So as we're starting to build all of these things, I started to have a problem. I had a lot of folks coming into me who were wanting to use this software. And it was around this time that I got real smart. And I reached out to the expert in CRM. I said, hey, Mark,
He said dad.
Hey, Dad, I got a problem. I got a lot of people coming in. I don't know what to do with them. I'm tired of using an Excel spreadsheet. I'm losing a lot of conversations and I'm not converting a lot. Who here has a similar experience? You're getting a lot of leads. They're getting lost in the shuffle, right? That's when I was able to bring him on board and we started building what SAM is today. But it all started with a need for some marketing content. From here, we've been able to do some really incredible stuff. Right now, it's showing just what the baseline is. And I'll let you in on a little secret. Mark shot these videos, so I don't actually know what this video's got on it.
Well, what this does is it takes what Sam will create. Now, you could do this in ChatGPT as well, but what we do is we take it a couple steps further. We do integrate with Gamma, which is another AI piece, and also Manus, which is a research tool recently just bought out by Facebook, I believe. And it takes the information that was just generated through SAM and Manus. You can decide, how do I want to make my presentation information? And then it goes and it builds a pretty version of whatever content that you create. So now you've got that lead magnet that is unique to you. I actually had it go in there and say, okay, give me some neighborhoods in Springfield, Missouri for first-time home buyers. And it does the deep research using AI to find that. Now, nobody else has this piece of information. Nobody else in my community has the information to give to first-time home buyers. So who are the first-time home buyers going to come to? They're going to come to me. You know, that's the value of having unique information. And it can look lots of different. This is just one. We actually use Gamma to do a lot of different things. But Gamma is a great resource tool to use. Now, do you guys make phone calls? Of course you do. Have you ever been on a phone call where I don't remember what we talked about? You get lost. Well, what we've done is press play on this one. We do have inside of SAM, we do have a call list area where you can add names to the call list for people that you need to call. You can click on Get Talking Points. It goes out to your database, finds all the things that you've talked about, the information that you need to know about this person, and then it starts building out your talking points. At that point, you've got everything that you need to start getting on the phone and doing the things that you need to do. Then, as you're making that call, it records the call. It transcribes that call. It puts that call into a he said, she said bubble so that you know where the communication was done. And if something didn't quite sound or get transcribed right, you can click on it, listen to it, and see what was actually said. Then it does sentiment analysis. Then it does a summary. And then it says, oh, you said you wanted to have a listing appointment on Thursday at 3 o'clock with John Smith. Hey, is John Smith in here? There he is. I use his name all the time. I said, thank God I finally met you. Anyway, at that point, I can see all the communication and stuff, but it summarizes it. And if I look and click on that button, it adds that appointment to my calendar or other things as well. So it does lots of automation. The AI is there to help you guys. You just have to find the right tool to do that.
And I like to point out, right now we're hearing a lot of folks are building out AI agents. We like to call them assistants. You guys are agents, right? But these AI agents do all the phone calling for you. You're missing out on a personal touch moment. Now, are there times that the outbounding call could be handled, maybe in a reschedule, or maybe you're on the line with someone else and it can say, hey, Mark's not available right now, but do you have any questions I might be able to help answer, or I can just patch him over once he is. So there's ways that you can start to add some intuitive function using AI, but realistically, AI could be an incredible tool for you guys to leverage.
How many of y'all take photos or have photos? Everybody does. Typically you have a photographer or something, but once the photography comes back, you will do something with them. What we do is we allow you to select those photos. It uploads them to the server. It then shows you the list of all the photos. You can choose which ones you want to deal with, which ones you don't. Maybe some you don't want. You can do some different stuff. But then you can use AI to look at the photo to determine what's in it. Gives a great description of that content that's in that. What room is it? Is it the bedroom, the bathroom? Is it the kitchen? Is it a white kitchen? And it goes through and it describes all that information. Once it goes through each one of those photos and describes them, then it'll go ahead and upload them into SAM, where you can use them for lots of different things. So right here, let's just go a little faster. Thought I'd talk a little. So right here, it's actually uploading it to SAM and going through the spot. That's okay. So if I look at each photo, I can see each photo. I can see the details of what it found on that. If it's not right, which it's not normally wrong, I can correct it and make changes. But I can use this in open houses, in lots of different things, and it uses the description down below very easily. I did this in 2 minutes. It took me 2 minutes to do this. You guys need to be thinking smart. How can I do things with AI to be faster? Now I can take those photos and all the property information, bedrooms, bathrooms, stuff like that, and hopefully you're at least doing this within your ChatGPT, is you take that information about your listing, you throw it into ChatGPT and say, give me a listing detail. Absolutely. Thing is we're tying it to the listing. We're keeping that information there so you don't have to go searching for it later. But maybe that listing description doesn't fit inside your MOS. Maybe you only allowed 600 characters or something. Well, you can use AI to do a context summary of it, keeping the same context, but making it shorter. And then you can go in and you can make presentations with it. You can do all kinds of different stuff using Gamma and whatnot with that. So that's just an example of some of the stuff that you can do there. The biggest challenge that we have found, and why our company name is Workflow Secrets, is that we do have a secret. Your workflows, many of you have spent hours, if you are doing this, and a lot of you haven't done the process of creating processes because it can be tedious. It can be time consuming. It can be a real chore for some people. And what we want to do is make that easier for you. Our secret is, instead of making huge workflows, break it down into small bite-sized pieces. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Don't eat elephants. But you do it in one small chunk. We have built out so that if you enter a photography date, here's all the things I do whenever the photography date gets filled in. If I have an inspection, maybe it went wrong. Here's the things that I do whenever inspections go wrong. You set up the patterns of things so that it's repeatable and you can constantly do stuff. But setting that up can be a challenge. Now, I'm going to take an easy one just because it can take a little time. I want to make sure it's short. Let's go back to the core strategies. Let's go back to the C in our conversions piece. Maybe we're dealing with first-time home buyers. I've been using this example a lot because people understand this concept. I want to create a first-time home buyer piece. I can use AI to, I put in an objective of what I want. I can use AI to prompt engineer that for me. Now, you can do this in ChatGPT, but it'll build out the information and then I can hit generate. Now, ChatGPT would come up with some kind of information about what it is. And if you're getting that, great, use that. But it stops there. What we did is we take it one step further and we say, build it. So then it takes all that information, the calculations of numbers of days from the start date, all the different things that you want, and it starts building out your process inside. What would take maybe an hour or two, if you're not computer literate, it may take longer. I've had people that had spent whole weekends just setting up their processes. We can do it in minutes. Now, it looks at that process and says, oh, we have an email to send. Oh, we have an SMS to send. Let's generate those as well. Now, whenever we're generating them, we're putting in all the merge fields that needed, but we're also putting it in the voice of that agent. So we know about how you write, what you do. So it's done all the math. It built out all the entire process. I can go in and I can see the template. It built out the template, all the information in there, and now I've got a very simple first-time home buyer lead generation piece in a matter of minutes. These are the things that you guys have to find the tools to do. We are one. We may be the only that do some of this, but we are one of a lot of different AI tools out there, and we encourage you to do some research and figure out how to use this in your business. So that was Sam.
So ultimately, when we're thinking about AI, what we're trying to do is we're trying to make your life easier. We're trying to remove those small little moments, those 3-minute bite-sized moments. And I'm a reader. Has anyone read the book, The Compound Effect? Yeah, a couple hands. Excellent book. If you're a reader and you haven't yet, I would definitely recommend it. What they talk about in this book is the idea that habits stack on each other. The same process goes here. 3 minutes here, 3 minutes there, 3 minutes there. Over the course of the week, maybe that's 30 minutes, maybe that's an hour. And realistically, those little 3-minute chunks, that's the email you have to rewrite each and every time. If you write it more than twice, you should make it a template. If you're doing it more than twice, you should make it a system. And so we've taken Sam, we've given you guys the ability to accelerate that system being created and manage your business with it. And this is a purpose-built system for you guys, the real estate agents. Now, purpose-built because Mark spent 35 years in real estate technology, 36, I suppose. But ultimately, it's helping remove those obstacles for you guys.
It's all about mapping out your workflows. If you guys will spend the time, even today, think about your processes. Jot down every time you do a certain task. And whenever you start thinking about each of those tasks and the order in which you do them, If somebody is calling you because they have a question, you failed. You should have already answered that question because you know the process. You know what should be happening. They don't. They're there in limbo a lot of times because they don't know the process. And if you will think through the process, how is it that a multi-billion-dollar company like McDonald's is being run by high schoolers? It's systems. They go through the system. They do nothing but the system. And that's what a workflow is. It's what a routine is. You do it routinely.
So ultimately, you guys are now a part of our community because you've learned the workflow secret. It's using these smart communication frameworks. It's working to deliver those world-class client experiences. And then it's all about leveraging those systems that we're finding all around our business. And then you start adding automations to it once you find them, and you're off to the races. So here's kind of our roadmap for what we would love for you guys to take away from this. Well, step one, if you were able to take that self-assessment, you're well on your way. If not, workflowsecrets.info/self-audit. And you can go ahead and you can learn all about what you need to do. If you maybe even took just the next week and started thinking to yourself, man, what am I doing again and again and again? That's going to be the keys to the kingdom for you. And then you can just start choosing one of those core pillars of your business. Is it the conversions I need to focus in on? Is it the operations? Maybe it's the experiences. Maybe I need a retentions process. I know so many agents that they don't even bother with post-close follow-up. But think about all the repeat referral business. You've already proven to them that you're the one to get it done. So you might as well capitalize on that. Everyone's got friends. Then, if you guys want to start with Sam, we'd love to have you. You could start implementing that. If not, I bet you probably already have a system. Maybe that system even has automations. You could start building those automations. If you decided Sam was for you, we host weekly office hours for our community. You could hop in, you could listen. You guys are more than welcome to attend if you want anyways. But this is going to be how you build these frameworks. So you've seen the frameworks. Now it's time to start building those systems. Mark?
Absolutely. So we do have an offer for you guys. Of course, all good salespeople will sell to salespeople.
That's right.
What we're doing is we're making a special offer to you guys. If you do not have a system, certainly reach out to us. If you have something you're not satisfied with, or you're like the thousands of other agents that I've talked to that get some next shiny new object and then stick it under their bed for the next year, listen up. What we have is we have a lot of different things that we can do to help make your lives much easier. We do have our brain in a box. Basically, we have a Copilot Lite program where for 2 weeks we take you through how to build a lot of these things. It's kind of hand-holding type thing. We put that into a do-it-yourself document, and you can go through that. We're going to include all that. We do help you with importing all your contacts. We have a one-to-many onboarding class where we will have everybody come in and just talk about the basics of kind of what we talked about today, but how to actually implement it in your business. Some of you just don't know where to even start. You don't know what you don't know. Whenever you're building out the systems, just like our survey, surveys are built into SAM. You can build your own surveys for your first-time home buyers, for your move-up buyers, for people thinking about, elderly parents that might be downsizing, whatever it is. You can create assessments for those, and you're gathering information about those people. How can you help them? If they're first-time home buyers and they don't have their finances in order, now I need to be feeding them with information about financing. You don't have to feed them the information that they already know. They know that, right? So you're being smart about your time and your resources. We then also have a weekly access to the founders. That's us. And we just allow you guys to ask questions. It's a ask me anything type thing. And we go through, how do you do different things? What's the process? And then you can be a fly on the wall and just listen to the other attendees. What are their questions? And learn from them as well. We do lots of really great stuff to build each other's. The value on it's like $1,300. We're going to include all of that. Monthly, if you're a single user, it's like $89 a month. If you're a team, we got like a 3-user account for $249. These are things that aren't expenses. These are investments in you. I hear, it's like every good salesman would say that, but it really is. If we can save you 4 hours a week, what's that time worth? Spending them with your family, your friends, what is that time worth? We can really do some stuff. You can go out to workflowsecrets.info/Sam order. What do you want to do?
Yeah, so Mark and I are not going to be your traditional sales folks, but we do want to put this in front of you guys. If this is something you're looking for, while we're at these events, oftentimes I get folks who are saying, Cody, I'm in. You got my money, I'm sold, but I am in a predicament. I'm in a special situation, and you see, I need a little bit of help. And so we decided, well, let's put something together for those folks too. We have an 8-week done with you program. It's called the Copilot program. And what this allows you guys to do, you get one-on-one strategy and build out with Mark and I. We're going to help bring you into the system, make sure all of the systems are customized to your business, your needs, all of these automations are stood up, that you understand the platform so that at the end of those 8 weeks, you can actually use the platform and be successful. And you guys are going to also have the subscription covered during the Copilot program. So it's something close to about $12,000 worth of investment when it's all calculated up to. But to enroll in that program, it's only $3,600 for the whole 8-week program. Then we cover the cost of the subscription. So
limited to 3.
Limited to 3, that's right. So because it is a really specialty program, we do limit it to 3 per 8-week timeline. That way we can continue to do really hands-on work. But those are kind of the 2 tracks that we find most folks who are wanting to start working with us end up in. So I wanted to make sure, both with the main offer, the workshop exclusive, as well as the Copilot offer, that if you're looking for a new home, if you're trying to find the right system, we're going to give you guys something. And we want you guys to have the right tool. And maybe it's not us. And if it's not us, that's totally fine too. We would love to help you find that right home. But you can actually get enrolled into the Copilot by visiting workflowsecrets.info/Copilot enrollment. And that would be how you do that.
Can we make it any longer?
Oh my gosh, no kidding. But other than that, thank you guys so much for attending today. How was lunch? Was it good? Was it good? How did we do?
How did we do?
We do? Yeah. Oh, thank you, thank you. Well, we're so grateful for your guys' time. In real estate, time is money, and I really appreciate that. Workflow Secrets, at the end of the day, we're working to save you guys time for what we say are the things that matter most: friends, family, hobbies, and growing your business. And that's what Mark and I do. If you have any questions, if you want to have a conversation, if you'd like to have a one-on-one meeting to go over your specific case, reach out to us, Cody at workflowsecrets.info or Mark at Workflow Secrets. You can grab this QR code. This will take you to Mark's business card. And other than that, have a wonderful day. Stay warm.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, guys.